Welcome to our deep dive into the future of cybersecurity.
Oh, this will be interesting.
We've got a ton of insights from Deloitte's CyberiCON event.
Yeah, their events are always top-notch.
They brought in their experts
Right.
and folks from Palo Alto Networks.
A leader in cybersecurity.
To kind of give us a glimpse into what 2025 looks like.
I'm excited to hear what they've got to say.
We'll be exploring things like AI.
Yes.
AI! It's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
And how businesses need to step up their security game.
You know, it's more important than ever.
And even how the definition of cybersecurity itself is changing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not just about computers anymore, is it?
No, it's not. It's about protecting everything.
Yeah.
From the cloud to industrial systems.
That's right. It feels like everything is becoming interconnected.
It really is.
And that creates a whole new world of vulnerabilities, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Deloitte really drove home the scale of the challenge.
They did.
They highlighted specific trends.
Like what?
Like artificial intelligence,
Oh,
automation, cloud security, and industrial security.
Industrial security.
Yeah. That's about protecting those systems that control physical processes.
Oh, wow.
Like power grids or manufacturing plants.
So someone could hack into a power grid.
Yeah. Think about that.
That's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
Cybersecurity is impacting our lives in ways we might not realize.
Absolutely.
But let's go back to something you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Deloitte emphasized aligning cybersecurity strategies with business goals.
That's crucial.
Why is it so important?
Because too often companies see cybersecurity as just a technical issue.
Like a box to check.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But Deloitte argues that you need to understand what matters to your business.
Okay. So like
what are your most critical assets?
Okay.
What can you absolutely not afford to lose?
Right.
Once you understand that,
Yeah.
then you can build your defenses strategically.
That makes sense, but it sounds easier said than done.
It'll be tough.
Where do you even begin to figure all of that out?
That's a common problem.
Yeah, I bet.
Where do I even start? Question.
Right.
Deloitte offered some practical advice, though.
Oh, good.
They talked about prioritizing based on business needs
Okay.
and regulatory requirements.
Like what?
Things like the NIS2 directive.
Okay.
It emphasizes the role of the Chief Information Security Officer.
So it's a two-pronged approach.
You could say that.
Understanding your business and understanding regulations.
Exactly.
But even then, you'd still need some serious expertise.
Absolutely.
To navigate all of this.
You really would. Deloitte emphasized partnering with the right cybersecurity experts and vendors.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's not something most companies can handle on their own.
Especially with how fast technology changes.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of change,
Yeah.
Deloitte sees a trend towards convergence in cybersecurity.
Right.
What exactly does that mean?
Convergence means security solutions are becoming more integrated.
So in the past,
Yeah.
companies would have different tools for everything?
Right. They'd have separate tools for firewalls,
Oh, I see.
intrusion detection, antivirus software.
Okay.
But now
Which
we're
is
seeing
neat.
more unified platforms.
That handle a wider range of threats?
Exactly.
So it's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Instead of a whole toolbox.
Exactly.
Why is this trend happen?
Well, first, it makes things simpler
Okay.
and more efficient.
Right.
Instead of managing a dozen tools,
Yeah.
you're dealing with one or two.
I see.
Second, it allows for better threat detection and response
Okay.
because the different security components can share information
Oh, that makes sense.
and work together.
So that's interesting.
It is. And Deloitte highlighted something else.
What's that?
Convergence is tied to the growing importance of identity management.
Identity management.
Yeah.
You mean like passwords and user accounts?
Exactly.
How does that tie into convergence?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
As we move toward cloud-based systems and remote work, traditional network perimeters are becoming less relevant.
Okay.
It's not so much about where you are physically,
I see.
but who you are digitally.
So verifying user identities is crucial.
Absolutely. It's crucial for securing access to data and applications.
So instead of building walls around your network,
Right.
you're controlling who has the keys.
Exactly.
That's a pretty big shift.
It is a big shift.
Mm-hmm.
Deloitte sees it as a major trend for 2025.
Wow. So we've got interconnected systems,
Yeah.
integrated security solutions, and this focus on identity management.
Right.
It sounds like cybersecurity is getting real complex.
It is definitely complex.
And that brings us to AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, AI is a big part of all of this.
It's huge.
And we were lucky enough to hear from Mark Sarias.
Oh, from Palo Alto Networks.
He's the country manager here in Spain.
I've heard he's a great speaker.
He talked about how AI is a double-edged sword in cybersecurity.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's used by both the good guys and the bad guys.
I can see how that would be the case.
And it's changing the game for both sides.
I'm really curious to hear more about that.
Me too. So AI is a double-edged sword.
Yeah, a powerful tool.
How is it being used by both attackers and defenders?
Well, on the defender side,
Okay.
AI is being integrated into security solutions.
Mm-hmm.
For example, it can analyze data to detect anomalies.
Anomalies.
Yeah, things that might indicate a cyber attack.
So like a super-powered security guard
You got it.
that can spot things humans miss.
Exactly.
So it's not just reacting.
No,
It's about identifying threats before they become problems.
exactly. Proactively identifying threats.
That's really important because the speed of attacks is increasing.
It really is.
Sarias gave a historical overview of this. He said that in the early days, it could take weeks to detect a breach.
Wow, weeks or even months.
Now we're talking hours or even minutes.
It's a whole different ballgame.
That's a huge difference.
It is.
So early detection is critical.
Absolutely crucial.
How does AI help with that?
Well, AI can automate tasks that humans would normally do.
Yeah. Like what kind of tasks?
Things like patching vulnerabilities,
Right.
blocking malicious traffic,
Mm-hmm.
even isolating infected systems.
And it does all of this in real time.
That's the beauty of it.
Without any human involvement.
Exactly. It's like having a robotic security team.
Working 24/7.
Exactly.
But you said attackers are using AI too.
Right. That's the scary part.
How are they using it?
They're using it to make their attacks more sophisticated
Okay.
and harder to detect.
So how are they doing that?
Well, for instance, they're using it to develop malware that can morph.
Malware that can morph.
Yeah, so it can evade traditional security measures.
That's creepy.
It is. They're also automating phishing attacks
Oh, wow.
and targeting individuals with personalized messages.
Those are the ones that are really hard to resist.
Exactly. They're more likely to trick people.
It's like a constant arms race,
It really is.
with both sides using AI to outmaneuver each other.
That's a good way to put it.
But Sarias also talked about cutting through the hype around AI.
Yeah, he made a good point there.
What did he mean by that?
He was saying that AI is powerful,
Yeah,
but it's not a magic solution.
right.
There's a lot of hype,
I bet.
and people think it'll solve all their problems.
Yeah,
But AI is only as good as the data it's trained on,
that makes sense.
and it can still be fooled.
So we need to have realistic expectations.
Absolutely.
We talked about AI and the convergence of security solutions.
Right. Those are two of the big trends.
What were the other two that Deloitte highlighted?
One was cloud security.
Oh, yeah. The cloud is everywhere these days.
It really is.
What's so challenging about securing the cloud?
Well, cloud security is a shared responsibility model.
Shared responsibility.
Yeah, so the provider secures the infrastructure,
Okay.
but the customer is responsible for their own data and applications.
So you can't just rely on the provider.
No, you need to be proactive.
That makes sense.
And it requires a different mindset.
Than traditional security.
Yes, you need to understand how cloud services work.
And how to configure them securely.
Exactly. You need strong passwords,
Okay.
multi-factor authentication,
Right.
and encryption for your data.
It sounds like there's a lot to think about.
There is a lot to consider.
And that brings us to the fourth trend.
Industrial security.
Yeah, this is an area I don't know much about.
It's a specialized area.
What is industrial security?
It's about protecting systems that control physical processes.
Like power plants.
Yeah, like power plants, water treatment facilities,
Okay.
manufacturing lines, those kinds of critical infrastructure systems.
So the systems that keep our world running.
Exactly.
And why is this becoming so important?
Because these systems used to be isolated.
Oh.
But now with the industrial Internet of Things,
the IoT?
yes, and the cloud.
Yeah. They're all connected.
Right. And that makes them vulnerable.
So a hacker could cause a blackout
It's a real possibility.
or disrupt the water supply.
Exactly.
It's not just about data anymore.
Yeah.
It's about real world damage.
That's what makes it so scary.
So how do you secure these systems?
It's tricky.
Is it like regular IT security?
There are some similarities,
Okay.
but also some big differences.
Like what?
Well, these systems are often very old.
Oh,
Yes, they weren't designed with security in mind.
I see.
They might have outdated operating systems.
Oh, wow.
They might lack basic security features.
Like what?
like firewalls and intrusion detection systems.
And are they hard to update?
Very hard.
It sounds like a whole different challenge.
It is a whole different ballgame.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 trends.
AI convergence, cloud security, and industrial security.
It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot.
It paints a complex picture of cybersecurity in 2025.
It's a complex landscape.
But it's important for businesses to understand these trends.
Absolutely, they need to be prepared.
And one key takeaway from Deloitte is that cybersecurity is a strategic business imperative.
That's right. It's not just a technical issue anymore.
We've heard that a lot today.
It's a recurring theme for sure.
But what does it actually mean?
What does it mean to treat it as a strategic imperative?
Yeah, does it just mean spending more money?
It's more than just money.
Okay.
It's about integrating security into your business strategy.
So making it part of your company culture.
Exactly. It's about understanding the risks
Okay.
and developing a plan to mitigate them.
And educating your employees.
Yes, everyone needs to be aware.
So it's a holistic approach.
It really is.
Yeah.
It goes beyond just technology.
And it's an ongoing process.
Right. It's not a one-time fix.
Because the threats are always changing.
That's right.
So you need to constantly adapt.
You always need to be one step ahead.
We talked about how companies feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. Where do I even start problem?
Did Deloitte offer any advice for overcoming that?
Well, they had a 3-step process.
Okay. A 3-step process.
Understand your business.
Yeah.
Prioritize your efforts.
Okay.
And find the right partners.
Okay. So understand your business.
We talked about that.
We did.
Identifying your most critical assets.
Right.
Things that are essential to your operations.
Like what would cause the most damage if it were compromised? Like a triage situation. Focus on what you can't afford to lose.
Exactly.
Okay, but how do you prioritize?
Well, Deloitte recommends considering both business needs
Okay.
and regulatory requirements.
Oh, all right. Regularly.
Like if you're in healthcare or finance, there are specific security standards.
And those can be tough.
They can be very complex.
Even without strict regulations, you still need to think about business goals.
Absolutely.
But if a company relies on e-commerce, they'd prioritize protecting their payment systems.
Of course.
Because if those go down,
they lose money.
Yeah, big time.
So it's about understanding what keeps your business running and making sure those areas are protected.
Okay, so understand your business, prioritize your efforts.
Yes.
And the third one was?
Find the right partners. You can't do everything yourself. You need to bring in experts.
Cybersecurity experts.
Exactly.
Okay.
Deloitte emphasized partnering with experts who can help you assess your risks, develop a strategy, and implement the right solutions.
So you're saying it's like surgery?
Kinda.
You wouldn't operate on yourself?
Exactly. You'd go to a surgeon.
Right. You'd go to an expert.
You need someone with the right expertise.
Okay. That makes sense.
And it's not just technical expertise. You need partners who understand your business.
Okay. So they speak your language.
Exactly.
They can explain things in a way that makes sense for your business.
Right. They bridge the gap between tech and business strategy.
That's a really important point.
It is.
So Deloitte's advice.
Yeah.
Understand your business. Prioritize your efforts.
Yes.
Find the right partners.
And don't wait.
Act now.
Exactly.
The threats are evolving.
Agreed.
And waiting could be a costly mistake.
A very costly mistake.
Mark Sarias from Palo Alto Networks agreed. He said cybersecurity is a strategic business decision.
Not just a technology issue.
We've heard that throughout this whole deep dive.
We have.
Cybersecurity requires a holistic approach.
It does.
You need to weave security into the fabric of your business.
I like that analogy.
From understanding your assets to embracing innovation.
And staying ahead of the threats.
It's a lot to think about.
It is a lot.
But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a few questions.
All right.
Are you confident in your company's cybersecurity strategy?
That's a good question.
How are you leveraging AI and other technologies?
To stay ahead of the threats.
Every organization needs to be asking these questions.
Big or small, it doesn't matter.
The future of cybersecurity is challenging.
It is.
But by staying informed,
yeah,
prioritizing your efforts, and finding the right partners,
absolutely,
you can protect your business.
That's the goal.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
It was a pleasure.
Into the future of cybersecurity.
A fascinating topic.
We hope you learned something valuable.
I know I did.
Until next time, stay curious.
And stay safe.
Bye for now.